Hey guys, Cassie here. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are questioning the queen, and it's scary. No, but seriously, this video is not anything to be taken negative. Oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? Seriously though, I want to start off by saying, obviously you read the title, you know what you're watching this video. Obviously you read the title, you know what we're going to be talking today. Oh my gosh, I'm rusty, okay? Obviously, you read the title, you know that what we're gonna be talking about today is some things that Jenna Moreci has said that I disagree with. Now, I wanna be clear, first of all, on a couple things. One is that this is nothing negative about Jenna Moreci as a person or even as a writer. I like her writing. The Savior's Champion was a really good book and I like it a lot and I'm excited for the next one. It's just that there are a few things she's said that I think are really not true, and some of them, you know, I'm not gonna get into super nitpicky things or little things that I maybe just disagree with, opinions I disagree with. The problem that I have is when someone, especially someone who has a very large following, says something as if it is a fact rather than an opinion, and it's just objectively, either it's not a fact and it's just an opinion, or it's just like objectively untrue. That kind of bothers me, especially when someone does have a large following, because people are going to be looking to that person to teach them something, and I just see a lot of comments that are like, oh, thank you so much for telling me this, I didn't know this before. And sometimes it's things that it's like, well, that wasn't really exactly true. So I don't want people to be learning false information. Now, before I go further, for any hardcore Jenna Moreci fans, cool, be a hardcore Jenna Moreci fan, that is fine, I have no issue with you. I just disagree with some things she says sometimes, and we're allowed to talk about that like adults, and it's fine. One last disclaimer I want to just touch on before anybody says anything, because I know it's going to be a thing that people are going to say, why did you title your video this way? You're just using her name for clicks or whatever. Personally, I just posted a video recently. I mean, I'm assuming I'm filming this the same day, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to post that one first. So I just posted a video recently talking about the fact that my priorities on YouTube have changed. This is not really like a career thing for me anymore. It's just fun and things I want to talk about. So I really don't care that much if this video gets a lot of clicks. That's not why I put her name in the title. The reason I put her name in the title is because these are really specific things that Jenna has said, not just necessarily things that everybody in the writing community seems to think or something. They are really specific instances. And also, I wouldn't mind if some people who are fans of Jenna Moreci watch this video and maybe realize, oh, that thing that she said, like, yeah, you're right, that's kind of not really accurate. It's not because I want to steal all her fans or something, or like turn anyone against her. It's just that I want people to be learning true, accurate things if they're looking for writing advice. So I thought that this was the way I could reach the most people with this message. It really is not a clout thing. I really couldn't care less or give one single crap about clout. So believe me or not, but that's the truth. Alright, so now that the disclaimers are over, let's get into the actual content of this video. I'm only going to be talking about 3 things, and the first of which is, honestly, I'm not even going to be talking about it. That doesn't make sense, but you'll understand in a second. So the first thing that I disagree with Jenna Moreci on is her overall opinion of writing to market and like rapid release type of writing. I'm going to try to put in the description some links to videos of Jenna's that I'm mentioning, because I do think it's important when you're talking about something someone said to like give evidence that they said that. So it's not just rumors. So I will put links down below so you can go and watch her actual words, and you don't have to take my word for it. But some of the things she's said about writing to market, things like people won't remember trend chasers, they won't remember your name, It's fine if you're just in it for a quick buck, but writing to market won't help you build a sustainable career and a loyal audience. That actually is one opinion that is definitely not like just an opinion Jenna has. A lot of people have that opinion. And I would say I actually had that opinion for a while, and then I learned more about it and I realized I was wrong. So I am gonna go ahead and defer to Alina Popescu's video on this subject instead of talking about it myself. I will link her video down below. She did a great job of explaining why this is kind of an incorrect view of writing to market and like rapid release writing. I'm not a rapid release author myself, so I don't feel like I have all the right points to say. And honestly, if I tried to make a video about it or something or talk about it here, I would literally just be watching Alina's video and parroting it back to you. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna say, go watch Alina's video. How about that?
About that.
So moving on to point number 2 that I disagree with. In one of her videos, I believe it was titled Past versus Present Tense, Jenna was talking about how you can't skip forward in time easily if you're writing in present tense. When she was talking about some of the pros of past tense writing, she said that one of the pros is that you can just kind of skip through some of the boring bits if you want. And when she got to the cons of present tense, she said that you can't do that in present tense. And she mentioned even something about like, nobody wants to have to read about characters going to the bathroom or something. This was actually the piece of like advice that I disagreed with that kind of sparked me wanting to make this video, because it's just very confusing to me because it's completely not true. And I don't understand why she said this because it's not true at all. You can totally skip through things in present tense just as easily as you can in past tense. There's literally no difference. So I'll give you an example here. If you're wanting to kind of skip through someone's morning routine and just get to them being at school, if you're writing in past tense, you might say, I scarfed down my food and headed out the door to school. And then the next paragraph might say, when I arrived at my locker, my friend Chloe was waiting for me. And then, you know, you could get on to the point of why Chloe's waiting for her and what they have to say and all of that. You skip through all the rest of the morning routine and getting on the bus and traveling to school. Now, if you wanted to adapt that to present tense, all you would have to say is, I scarfed down my food and head out the door to school. And then the next paragraph would say, when I arrive at my locker, Chloe is waiting for me. There's literally no difference. You just change the tense. You can totally do that. You can totally skip through boring parts. I'm pretty sure The Hunger Games is written in present tense, and I don't think we ever had to watch Katniss going to the bathroom. Like, that's just not a thing that's true. So I don't know if I'm misunderstanding that message. If Jenna watches this video, maybe if I misunderstood you, you can explain. But to me, I didn't get what she was trying to say there, because you can definitely skip through things like that in present tense the same way you can in past tense. It's no different. Now, this last point is one that is a little bit more like frustrating to me. Like, that second point was a little bit like frustrating because it was just so obviously not true. But this last point is kind of a little more like personally frustrating, and it's not just personal. It's like I'm thinking of other people as well, and that's why I want to talk about this, because if it was just me, I know this isn't true, so I don't care. But I'm thinking of all the other younger people out there, or not even younger, but maybe less experienced people out there who might be believing this, and it might really cause some damage. So in Jenna's video, 10 worst pieces of writing advice, which I will link down below, she says an unedited book is an unfinished book, and it is unprofessional and shady to expect someone to pay money for an unedited book. That whole statement wasn't a direct quote, but the unprofessional and shady part was. I ended up kind of talking to Jenna about this on Twitter. These tweets were deleted, so unfortunately I can't link them to you. I don't think I would anyway, because it ended up being kind of a drama thing and I don't want to like stir up more drama. But she did liken selling an unedited book, and by unedited I mean professionally, not like you yourself didn't edit it at all, but like she's talking about if you don't hire a professional editor. And she likened selling a book that hasn't been professionally edited to selling a pile of scraps of fabric and calling it a t-shirt. Which I think is ridiculous. I think if anything, if we're going with a t-shirt analogy, maybe it's the difference between buying a t-shirt at Walmart and buying a t-shirt at Macy's, you know? Like if you put a little more money into it, it might be a little better, but it's still a t-shirt at Walmart and it's still worth buying money for. It's still worth buying money for? Buying for money. It's still worth paying for is what I was trying to say. It's still a product that you are consuming that you enjoy, and it doesn't matter that the extra steps that make it a Macy's level shirt weren't added. Like it's still worth something. And that's just an attitude that I really don't like, and I want to kind of try to separate. Hang on a sec, my legs are falling asleep. That's why I stopped filming in here, and I am remembering that now. This is really only a good place to film for like short videos. Anyway, that's an attitude that I really don't like, and I want to try as best we can to separate this from Jenna Moreci for a second and just talk about people in general who have this attitude, because I don't want it to seem like I'm personally attacking Jenna by saying this, but I have heard this attitude from many different people, and personally I feel like it's kind of an elitist way to think, because some people just don't have the money to hire a professional editor. And quite frankly, that doesn't mean that their book is going to be so bad that it would be unprofessional and shady to charge money for it. I mean, the way she talks about this is almost like if you don't hire a professional editor and you charge money for your book, it's as if you're like scamming people, which I've had people tell me that I'm taking this too personally, but honestly, like, I don't really see how I can't take it a little personally, because she's basically calling people who do this scammers, and that's a really bad thing to be called. That's a really bad thing to be. It's bad to scam people. It's bad to charge people money for something that shouldn't be charged for, or charge people too much money for something that should be way cheaper. That's bad, and I really try my best not to do that. My books are very reasonably priced. My paperbacks, well, my second one had to be a little more expensive because it was bigger. So in order to even make any profit off of it, I had to make it like 15 instead of 10. But my first book is only $10 for a paperback, $2.99 for ebooks, always. That's the cheapest I can make it on Amazon, I believe, and still have the higher royalty rate. So I do my best to make my books reasonably priced. And I'm really proud of my books. I've had a lot of great feedback on both of them, especially the second one. I do know that my first book is not as great as it could be. But full disclosure, you guys, I did not hire a professional editor for my books. And yes, there are some mistakes in them, but I don't think that they're so horrible that I'm scamming people by charging them money for something that took me a very long time and a lot of work and effort and thought and passion to create. It's not scraps of fabric. I'm not giving someone scraps of fabric and calling it a t-shirt. I'm giving someone a t-shirt and calling it a t-shirt. I'm not handing someone a pile of blank pages with random words on them. I'm handing them a finished book that is an interesting story. Whether or not everyone likes it is, you know, obviously not everyone is gonna like it. I have had some negative feedback as well. But I have had a lot of positive feedback too, and I don't think that anyone who has read my book and enjoyed it thinks that I was scamming them by charging them money for it because it wasn't professionally edited. And I'm just talking about my personal experience because that's what I have to talk about. That's my experience. But this isn't just a personal thing. It's not like, oh, Jenna Moreci hurt my feelings by saying this. Like I said, I don't really care if she thinks I'm a scammer by charging money for the books I made. But what I do care about is other people who are just starting out in this thinking, oh, that really sucks. Like, I don't have enough money to hire an editor right now, but I am really proud of this work and I don't really want to have to give it away for free. Is it really like a scam if I sell it for money, even if it's like just a little bit of money? I feel like people who are going to watch Jenna Moreci and think, she's a very big YouTuber, she's very well known in the AuthorTube community, she does have a lot of really great writing advice, and I feel like some people who watch her content and think she's kind of like the queen of writing are gonna take her word for that. And the way she phrased this was almost like it's a well-known industry standard. Not almost, I mean, she said it was an industry standard in some of her tweets. And that's the thing that bothers me, is taking something that is your opinion and speaking about it as if it is some industry standard when people who don't know better are going to believe you when you say that. And they're gonna think, oh no, I can't charge money for my book then because I can't hire an editor, so it would be a scam for me to do that. And I just think that's really unfortunate because there are a lot of really great books out there that weren't professionally edited. Funnily enough, I mean, I've heard of some books that I know for a fact Jenna Moreci herself has praised as being great books that were not professionally edited. So I don't really like the idea that some people are gonna think that they're not allowed to sell their product, or that it would be unprofessional and shady of them to sell this thing that they worked really hard on because it's not professionally edited. That's not true. It's not a well-known industry standard that everyone believes. It is an opinion. And that's all I'm here to say. No hate. I'm just here to say that that is Jenna's opinion, not a fact. And some people like myself have a very different opinion. I've read plenty of books written by people who did not have professional editors, and I really enjoyed them, and I do not feel scammed by paying money for them. Even the ones that I didn't enjoy, I don't feel scammed for. I mean, I'm thinking of one book off the top of my head that I'm pretty much positive was not professionally edited. And I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I don't feel like it was a scam that I had to pay money for a book that I didn't like. That's how life works. You buy a product, you don't just get given things for free. And that book was a complete book. It wasn't just like, it wasn't a pile of scraps of fabric. It was a complete t-shirt, and I paid money for it, and I didn't really enjoy it. And that's okay. I don't feel scammed. I don't feel like it was unprofessional or shady of that person to charge money for the thing they made. So that's it, really. Those are the three, mostly two things that I wanted to discuss. The last one is one that really kind of stuck with me the most because I think it's gonna really, I really think it's damaging. I think it's damaging to people who don't know better, who now hear this and think, oh, if I sell this for money and people don't think it's professionally edited, I'm gonna get a reputation as being a scammer. Like, I'm gonna be the next Kristen Martin because I sold a book without professionally editing it first. And that's just not true. That's not gonna happen to you. Hasn't happened to me yet. I actually had someone reach out to me just a couple weeks ago and ask me for advice on working with professional editors and said, How did you go about doing that? Do you have any tips for me? And I said, I don't actually, because I have never hired a professional editor. And they were shocked and said that they had no idea after reading my books that they were not professionally edited. And they really thought that I had done that. And I'm not just trying to like toot my own horn here. I do think there are flaws, especially in my first book, that for sure would have benefited from professional editing. But I also don't think there is anything morally wrong with me charging money for that book, because it's worth something. Like it just is. I just don't agree with that at all. So anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to share those couple things that I've heard from Jenna. The second one for sure, I've never heard from anyone else. So that's definitely a Jenna specific thing that needed to be addressed in this way, not just like, oh, here's something I've been hearing around, because I haven't heard that around anywhere. I've never heard anyone say that you can't skip forward through the boring bits if you're writing in present tense. It's not true, doesn't happen. Let's clear that up. But the other two are things that I have heard from many different people, not just Jenna. So it's not totally Jenna specific, but I just wanted to say that those are opinions and that I disagree with them and other people disagree with them as well. So if you heard those things about, you know, writing to market, rapid release, or not being able to have a professional editor, all I want to do is tell you all that it's okay if you disagree with what Jenna has said about that, because not everybody does agree, and it is just her opinion, not a fact of the industry, and you're okay. It's okay. Keep going, keep writing, publish that book, sell it for money, even if it's not professionally edited. And if it sucks and everybody hates it, then you're gonna get terrible reviews and nobody else will buy it. So capitalism will fix it for you, I guess. I don't know. I'm rambling now. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I hope I don't get too much hate for this video, but honestly, if I do, then, I mean, that's just silly. I haven't said anything personally against Jenna in this video. I'm not being hateful at all. I'm being very reasonable and just talking about something she said that I disagree with. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with Jenna? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with both of us? I really am curious to know what people think, especially about the professional editing. I just, in general, disagree with that on so many levels. So that is it. I hope y'all have a great day. Don't hate me too much. Oh, also, hopefully people who are outraged about this have stuck around long enough to hear this bit, but I did already tell Jenna herself, well, I was gonna say face to face, but not really, but on Instagram, but she replied to it. I know she's seen it. We have discussed the fact that I'm making this video. This is not a surprise to her. You don't need to go, I mean, you can, but you don't need to go sending Jenna, oh, this girl made a video about you. She already knows. I told her up front, I want to let you know that I am making this video because I don't want you to think it's like a hate thing or an attack or something. It's just professional disagreement. So that is all. Have a great day, and I'll see you whenever I see you. Bye.